Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to crystal PvP. Crystal PvP is a unique type of PvP only found on Anarchy servers like 2B2T, where instead of using swords, you use crystals. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you 1. The basics of crystal PvP, and 2. A few cool strategies you can use to give yourself the upper hand. Before we get on to that, be sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything. First, before we move on to the more advanced techniques for both offense and defense, I'm going to teach you a few of the most basic things you need to know about crystal PvP. First thing you need to know is that this is an end crystal. If you didn't know that by now, then I don't even know what to say. Anyways, this is an end crystal, and if you punch it, it explodes and does a lot of damage. However, if you are, for example, in a hole surrounded by blast-resistant blocks, it does a lot less damage. You can also surround yourself with obsidian, and it does very little damage at all if you do that. Even though crystals do a lot of damage, swords are still very useful for degrading your opponent's armor. In crystal PvP, there's certain things you need to have in order to be successful. 1, you need to have an armor set, and optimally more than one. You also want plenty of crystals to be able to sustain yourself throughout a fight, and totems in case you do something stupid. You want obsidian because you need to be able to protect yourself. You're gonna need golden apples because they give you many very useful effects, and they also give you a lot more health. A sword, like I said earlier, is very useful for degrading your opponent's armor. Chorus fruit are also very important, or ender pearls. I personally like chorus fruit because they're stackable and up to 64, and you don't have to be in an open space to use them. If you're trapped, you can just chug one and it'll teleport you somewhere outside. I will also create a list of hacks that I recommend using in the description. So this is generally how a crystal PvP fight would go. Here I am surrounded by obsidian, or you could be in a hole. Just make sure you're surrounded by obsidian or bedrock, and there's my opponent doing the same thing. Now in this situation, both you and your opponent are trying to take out each other's defenses and blow the other up. Obviously, you want to make sure that your defenses are not mined out. Congratulations, you have now graduated from baby school. You now understand the basics of how a crystal PvP fight works. Now we're going to get on to the more detailed strategies that you can use. Now let's go over some basic defense. The first thing we're going to talk about is preventing yourself from being city. Now if you look here, I'm in a very open spot, and I'm currently above ground, meaning that if someone were to break even one of these blocks, they could place crystals there, they could place them all around here to hurt me. Now here is a much better position, because if they break any block around me, they'll only be able to place crystals there rather than in multiple locations around me. And also, even if my ping is super bad and I can't quite fill the hole before they place their crystals, you can always just stand and take up 2 blocks, so then they can't actually place a crystal next to you. Though, if there's a 3-block space, you can't stand in the 2-block space to prevent crystalling because they'll be able to place it in that 3rd block. So generally, you want to make sure you're paying attention to the area around you, so you can prevent that from happening. Oh no, help, I'm trapped. Just chorus fruit out of it. It's really that easy. Also, if you're in a pinch and you need to get out and replenish your armor or open an E-chest, or for whatever reason you just need to get away, you can always trap your opponent and then swiftly run away. This certainly won't stop them from coming after you, but it sure will slow them down a bit. For moving towards or away from your opponent quickly, I recommend having Strafe keybinded. Strafe is a hack that makes it much easier to traverse rough terrain. If you choose to, you can also use Blink, though I don't normally use it. Now I'm going to be going over some basic offensive strategies that you can use to get the upper hand on the battlefield. The most basic way to kill someone using crystals is just to mine out the blocks protecting them, and then your auto crystal will do the work. Though the problem with that is, as soon as you break the block, assuming you don't have absolutely amazing ping, odds are your opponent is going to be able to replace that block again before you actually get to do much damage with the crystal. Because of this, it's actually better to go and get in their hole, and then from there, you can mine out this block here. So, as soon as you mine out that block, you can stand here so that they actually cannot place their defenses back. And then from there, you can swiftly get back up and get back to your protection, and your crystal aura will begin placing crystals around there. This way, you can actually get quite a bit of damage off. Something that is also really effective is if you can get your opponent trapped like this. This way you can place crystals from pretty much anywhere around and crystal them, and they can't escape very easily. This position is a bit harder to get into, but if you do manage to pull it off, it's worth it. Now I wanted to show you some real world examples. Here is an example of me sorting someone. Sorting is quite effective because it both degrades the opponent's armor, and if you do it right, can do a lot of damage as well. In this clip, I'm sorting away at this guy while chugging gapples, and I actually do manage to pop quite a few of his totems. Here's a good example of city trapping, courtesy of my friend. In this clip, he traps his opponent, and then mines a block in order to city him. Here's another good clip of him using the hole strategy we talked about. When his opponent got into the hole he was sitting in, he mined out the block and got away so that he could crystal his opponent to death. Here's another good clip of him using a good strategy of first trapping his opponent and then mining out the blocks next to him so that he can crystal him. Thank you so much to 69HR for all of these awesome clips. Hopefully in a future video we'll be able to go through all the other ones he sent and analyze them for even more good tips and strategies. All for today's video. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, be sure to smash that like button and click subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything. That's all for now, and I'll see you guys next time.